Oh my god, what did we do? I didn't think this was gonna happen. What did we do? This is terrible. I know, right? Total waste of Dogecoin, silicone implants, and human life. No, I mean, like, people will find this. The police will come. My fingerprints are all over the place. I can never escape this. I think I need to fake my own death. Don't worry. Wait right here. You should probably change your clothes and also your face. If you're planning to fake your own death, make sure to limit erratic behavior before you do, as this can be one of the most common signifiers that something is up. Well, maybe erratic is the wrong word. I'm normally pretty erratic, so if I suddenly started acting predictably, people would know something is wrong. I guess just do whatever you would normally do. For God's sake, man, act casual. Avoid emptying bank accounts all at once. It can be tempting because it's easier to go on the run with a lot of money in your pocket, but you should instead put a large amount of money aside over a longer period of time. While this behavior is kinda sus, it'll most likely take people at least slightly longer to figure out this than a gap of 100K in a single day, giving you more time to set up shop in your new life. The problem is, if you need to fake your own death, you might not have all the time in the world. Going on the run flat broke would be possible, but it's a lot harder, so consider sketchier but quicker methods of getting cash. For example, selling illicit substances or services, smuggling bags of mysterious white powder, investing in Dogecoin, or distributing disposable vaporizers to neighborhood children. The good thing about these hustles is that you don't need a valid identification or base of operation to do most of them, so you can do them while you're on the run. Also, none of the tearful goodbye give away all your stuff crap. First of all, if your loved ones think you're dead, they're gonna loot whatever you have of value whether or not you give them permission. Second, I know humans say they can keep secrets, but they're terrible at it. You probably did something to piss someone powerful off, and it's best that your loved ones genuinely believe your story so no one tries to put the squeeze on them to find you. I know what you're thinking, how am I gonna get away with this without people questioning where my lifeless meat sack is? The best way around this is to plan something so it would be very difficult to recover a body under regular circumstances. You know, explosions, vats of acid, falling off a cliff into the ocean without telling people where you were going, falling off a cliff into an ocean of exploding acid without telling anyone where you were going, you know, that stuff. If you chose the right method, you won't have to worry about finding a body and trying to make it look like it was you. If for some reason you're especially disturbed and you want to do this part anyway, let me give you some tips. To make sure no one knows this isn't you, make sure to remove/heavily damage the head and hands. It would make sense to damage the entire body, but the most important things to make unreadable are the hands, eyes, and teeth. Keep in mind, if they find a corpse with no hands, eyes, or teeth, and a lot of marks that look like they were done by a frantic runaway, they'll know something is probably up. So make sure you do them in a way where it's believable that those injuries occurred naturally during the accident. Also, make sure not to make it look like it was foul play. People are much less likely to examine accidents or committing the self-die. If you've done this right, people will assume that your body was liquefied because you wanted it to be, so there'd be no point in examining it any further. Now that people think your body is acting as a form of airborne fertilization for plants within a mile of where you fake exploded, they'd be quite surprised if you showed up at the grocery store the next day. So surprised that they might tell literally everyone that you seemingly survived exploding. Because of this, it would be advisable to get as far away from where you used to live as possible immediately after your false expiration. You're going to need a mode of transportation that you haven't used before, because if your super sick LED-covered Razor scooter goes missing that same day, chances are people will think something's up. Your best bet is to have this be a part of your bug-out plan and buy a reliable, boring-looking vehicle beforehand with the nest egg you've set aside. Use this to go as far as you can from the area where you used to live. Sleep in the car, and don't stop driving until you hit the ocean that's furthest from where you came from. If you can't get a car, find any method you can to get as far from town as possible. When you feel comfortable with the distance from whatever you're running from, buy a tent and some food and cooking supplies to set up a temporary hobo camp in nature for the moment while you plan your next move. If you want to fake your own death, chances are you don't want to go back to your old life. Even if you did, you should have thought of that before you tricked every person you knew into thinking that you're dead. You must now find a new life. Make sure to create a believable but somewhat boring backstory and memorize it as well as you can, because if you accidentally screw up and say your old name when you're trashed in front of the wrong people, it'll probably end badly. If you want to go the extra mile, you can sand or burn off your fingertips to become untraceable. Well, I say extra mile, but it's really only a few inches. I guess it does make quite a difference whether we're talking about walking distance or the amount of flesh removed, though. If you did something illegal, which I don't think faking your death is inherently illegal, at least in the US, but whatever, you'd be wise to find your way to a place that doesn't have an extradition treaty with your old home. Fun fact, Ukraine is one of the easiest places to get the basic necessities of life without any identification. At the very least, I would advise you to cross one ocean before you set up permanent shop. You could continue in your sketchier hustles, but this works better when you're drifting from place to place, so the local authorities don't have time to figure out who you are before you're in the next state. When you stand still, these illicit activities make it a lot easier to find you. Getting a job may be difficult without any documentation, but there's probably somebody looking for some sort of labor that would be willing to cut a deal if you worked for a little less. Congratulations! If you follow these instructions correctly, you should be living a new life with no economic prospects or emotional connections in the middle of the Ukrainian tundra. But hey, at least you're not dead or in jail. Hey, you should like and subscribe and comment and watch all of my other videos and hit the bell with all notifications enabled and just, devote your life to pumping up my video robot scores. Robot. The cult is almost at 15,000 members. Let's see how quickly we can get it there. I would like it there now, but I don't think it is, and my hat's gonna fall off. Sorry if this video is a bit shorter. Those who have been in the cult for a while know that I suddenly have to change location sometimes for unexplained reasons. This is one of those times. Expect a new location soon. That is all the information I will give up willingly. As always, like 7 at the bell, and I will see you all in hell.